Welcome back, everyone, to Vox Markets. My name is Paul Hill, and I'm delighted again to be able to speak to CEO Sukh Chamdal and CFO Pardip Das of Cakebox, the UK's go-to provider of luxury egg-free celebration cakes. So welcome, gents.
Good morning.
Thanks, Paul.
Well, terrific set of results this morning, guys. So really well done. But before we unpack the details, Sukh, I don't suppose you could quickly just remind investors what the sort of the key sweet spots, USPs are of the business.
Well, we provide egg-free cakes, fresh cream cakes, on demand, click and collect, order online, order in the store, or just go in the store and see the sights and smells and the sounds and get yourself a really delicious cake ready to go with no pre-ordering, and we will personalize the message there for you. Or we're a franchise business. We've got 174 stores now. We've just done a deal with ASDA where we've been opening kiosks in their stores. We've got 7 and 4 more have just opened with a promise of a lot more coming in next year. We're also opening shopping centers. So these are all bolt-on opportunities for the franchisees. So it gives them a really good proposition where they can earn up to 93k EBITDA per year.
And with the actual, customers, my my father, as you know, basically had an 80th birthday, and he sneaked it in August, and he got this fantastic platter from one of your stores in Reading. And basically the whole guests were just chuffed to bits with the quality and the freshness. So you can send my congrats to the guy in Reading. But the sort of question comes to is that you've hit the ball out of the park in terms of like-for-like sales growth, 13% on your franchise. How are you doing that? Is that through volume? Is it through price? Is it? With regards to the actual promotion, my father and the guests will be sort of like, referring that to the friends, and we've already sorted our Christmas cake out anyway for starters. But how have you done this 13% like for like? Because that is really best in class.
Well, it's not. It's all volume driven because look, we haven't put our prices up for the last 18 months, and it's all down to the product. As Sukh said, it's a delicious product, and the fact that we opened nearly 40 stores in the last 12 months is advertising in itself. You walk down the high street, you can see our loud and bright colours of our stores, and our customers love our product and they come time and time again.
So you haven't got to basically pump in a lot of sort of like sales and marketing expenses, a lot of word of mouth success, sort of delighted customers referring them to friends and family. Is that sort of like it? That's what's really growing the volume, a lot of it?
Absolutely. And like I say, all our shops we are bricks and mortar on the high street. We're not just a virtual shop on the internet. So you come in, you see the sights, the smells, the kids love coming, designing their cakes, or it's a walking, talking billboard. And with the ASDAs as well, it gives a lot more presence to a lot of the market which who didn't know us. And so once they've tasted that cake, they're hooked, and we get a lot of referrals.
Yeah, hey, even my mother-in-law is hooked, and she didn't even attend because we brought some cake back for her, and she had it for her sort of breakfast at 11s for the next week afterwards. So she was delighted. But sort of like just on that one, the ASDA, Sukh, how's that gone? Because I know they've got 630 stores in the UK, and you're just. Obviously, you've done the initial pilot, which seems to have gone well. Can you just talk through how that relationship is sort of like how you see that one moving forward?
Yeah, well, over the last few months, we've partnered with ASDA and opening kiosks in 7 of their supermarkets in the successful trial. Since then, we've opened another 4, and we were really excited with the opportunity to take the Cakebox brand even further. And we're planning to roll out more of these kiosks during the rest of the year. They have a refresh program, and as soon as they refresh a store, we are invited to take a kiosk, and we're going to open in places such as Boston, where we haven't got a store, but we'll operate that from a dark kitchen, and it gives us the opportunity to spread the word about our brand further afield, and it brings in more customers who traditionally wouldn't come to us, who wouldn't think about an egg-free cake. But it's not about the egg-free, it's about the actual product, which is very tasty, and you would not miss the egg.
No, I know. That's what my family were just flabbergasted how good it was. So, just in terms of the numbers, then, Pardip, can you just walk us through the sort of the key highlights of the numbers? Because I mean, they were just like they were just great. So, can you just take them through?
Yeah, we've had a really good first half. Revenue was up 92% to £16.5 million. Gross profit was up 83% to £7.6 million. And our bottom line was more than double. Our EBITDA 110% up at £4.1 million. But it was against, these comparisons are against a backdrop of 6 weeks worth of closure last year. So even if you take out the first 2 months of last year and do a 4-month comparison, we're still more than 50% up on all those comparisons.
Yeah, and can you just talk through the actual margins? Because it looks as though you actually invested a bit into your gross margin with your store openings, but you still saw an increase in your operating profit margin.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we were slightly lower on the gross profit margin because we opened a lot more stores, and our profit margin on a new store is a lot lower. Some of our administrative expenses have gone up as well, but we still turned out a very good profit figure. And some of the key conversions that we've got at bottom line can be quite envious in the retail trade. Yeah,
I saw your actual EBIT margins went up by about 2 or 3%, so that was to about 22.5%. So that was terrific. Now just moving to the supply chain, there's obviously an issue across the industry. In fact, just about across every single industry. How's the business sort of managed the unprecedented pressures in terms of input cost inflation, just delivery drivers, and just getting the product to the customer on time when they need it?
We've got our own drivers, and we've got a very loyal set of drivers. And because we buy the packaging from the Far East, we've always planned 9 months ahead. And so we've always got a more than sufficient stock for that. All our flour and sugar and everything was pre-ordered because we planned at least 3 months ahead. So we've got enough stock for 3 months, even if deliveries were stopped tomorrow. So our supply chain is very, very strong. And because we use our own delivery drivers, we deliver to shops as normal. So we've had no breakages in delivery at all, and supplying our franchisees with the raw product to make the cake.
Right, and then just moving again, just to the cash position, Pardip. In terms of, you've got now 4.2. You keep adding to your cash position. Every time I speak to you, you've got more cash, which is frankly great. And how are you planning to spend it? And I did see you've decided to increase your dividend by 35%.
Exactly. Yeah, we are adding more and more cash each year because we are a capex light model and therefore very cash generative. We've got a progressive dividend policy, and as you say, we are increasing dividends substantially year on year. But look, we never say no to any acquisition that might come along. And, we like to buy our property freehold as well. And space is always an issue. And so maybe, we might invest in another warehouse. But failing all that, we can easily return it back to the shareholders if we don't do anything with it.
And how much would a typical sort of like new franchise? I did see you've got 62. You've taken 62 deposits. Just typically, how much is each one of those deposits? Is it 5 or 10 grand or something like that, or 20 grand? I mean, how much is it? Just sort of like just to get a ballpark number, or just a range?
Yeah, it's 5,000. It's exactly 5,000. It's equal for all our franchisees. If they want to secure an area, then they pay £5,000.
And I noticed you've actually been putting on, you've been recruiting some strategic hires, and you've also been sort of like, distribution facility. How much incremental cost has been added to the business from, say, first half to second half, just for sort of like a run rate? Is it, I don't know, 200,000 or 300,000, £500,000 or something like that?
It's more towards just under £250,000.
Yeah.
We have put in an IT director in place. We've strengthened our food safety as well as procurement, head of procurement. And in the second half, we're looking at getting a marketing director as well, because eventually, we want to keep double-digit like-for-like going in the years ahead. And we are looking at also putting a very high-up senior role in operations as well.
Right. Okay. And then just on the trading, Sukh, in October, I noticed you lot like for like now have even higher in the in October than you had in the first half at 14% for October, or slightly over 14%. Can you just talk through that? I mean, that is again, you know, leading edge.
Great. In terms of the full year, current trading has remained strong with the 14.4 like-for-like sales in October. And again, it's you got the half term, and then you got people coming out or still or now get a bit more freedom, so they want to celebrate. And if I remind you of the fact, 68 million people in this country, 365 days in the year, that's 180,000 birthdays that need to be catered for every single day of the year. And so we want to, or be in the position to cater for as much as possible of that market share.
Okay. And then what about Christmas? Are you seeing any sort of like, I mean, I know you do sort of a, you know, very short, you know, sort of supply and, you know, short order times, etc. But are you seeing any sort of like, you know, visibility to Christmas, or is that just too early to the moment?
It's too early, but with the customer knows that they will get a Christmas cake as and when they want it. So over 60% of the estate will be open on Christmas Day to satisfy the demand of our customers. And New Year's Eve has now edged or further or forward as the thing to do. Have a New Year's Day cake. So they cut it at midnight, and so that's become our third or busiest day of the year now.
Yeah, well, we'll join the queue, don't worry. Just I think moving Pardip to the outlook then. I did notice Sure Cap have just ticked up their numbers, haven't they? Sort of like on the EBITDA side. So you must be obviously positive about the outlook for this year and next, I guess.
Yeah, Sure Capital have increased all the numbers, you know, revenue, profit, gross profit, etc. And look, we've got a fantastic future. We're looking at 32 stores for the year, and that's not even including the kiosks. So what we like to say is locations, and we're at 200 locations at the moment, if you include the ASDA and the supermarket kiosk. And I don't see, you know, why we can't be at 400 to 500 in the next 3 to 4 years.
Fantastic. And then just finally, Sue, long term, I know you keep sort of like keeping me on my toes in terms of potential overseas sort of stuff. And what any sort of like longer term views on India or America?
I have a wish list like everybody else, and you know, I would really love to go into New York. I'd love to go into Toronto, and you know, if we do, when we are ready, those would be our first 2 targets, and then before going back east. But you know, I must say also that our fantastic franchisees, you know, supported by the team members, they've helped us deliver these record first half store openings, the revenues, profits, and the dividends. So while making further significant strategic progress, always gives us the momentum in the second half. So I really got to say thank you to all the franchisees for all the hard work they're doing. And it shows, but we've got over 40 who got multi-site, or they are getting more confident in expanding their empires. And I'm really glad to say that 50% of them are women franchisees, or who are becoming more entrepreneurial as we go along.
Yeah, and I guess with the world's population about 7.5 billion, if you divide that by 350, you get something like I'm guessing sort of 20 million birthdays per day. So you've got a big number to go for. Anyway, big congrats again on the fantastic numbers. I look forward to touching base. So congrats, guys.
Great. Thank you very much.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul.